So today we start a new segment called Ask the Gods. And every day we're going to ask the gods about a new football team and a new outlook for the season. So today we're going to start off with the Dallas Cowboys. Yo gods, what are the Dallas Cowboys going to do this season? Just another typical Dallas Cowboys season. Kick the red, double move on the red. Yo everybody, how you doing? King Dingbat is here, and you know what time it is. It is football season, training camp is here, and the Eagles took the field to practice today. So we're going to talk about that in this video. And before I do that, I want to say that yesterday the Eagles signed Kamar Aiken, the wide receiver, to a one-year deal. Now, I couldn't do a video on it at the time because I wasn't home all day, didn't get home till way too late. But, you know, usually I try to give you all the Eagles breaking news as it happens, you know. Even if it doesn't seem that important, it's important for me to get the information out to you and give you my opinion on it. So I'm sorry I couldn't do that earlier, but you know what? He signed a one-year deal and he was on the field practicing today. So with that said, let's start talking about what happened today on the Eagles' first day of training camp. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list. Now, yesterday morning, there was a lot of speculation that Carson Wentz may land on this list. Now, by the afternoon, it was cleared up and they said that he wouldn't be on the PUP list, but there were a lot of videos that came out saying he was. There were a lot of people on TV and the radio and stuff saying that he was on this list. Carson Wentz was not on the list. And the only guy that I saw get this right was Joeyshakes72. So shout out to Joeyshakes72, a great Eagles video YouTuber. If you haven't been to his channel, I'll put the link in the description. Go to his channel, subscribe. He puts out a lot of great stuff too. He has a lot of great opinions, and I definitely enjoy his channel, and so will you. Now, Carson is not on this list, but there are some guys that are, okay? Bryce Treggs is on this list. Timmy Jernigan's on this list. Chris Maragos is on this list. Brandon Graham is on this list. And Alshon Jeffrey is on this list. Now, what that means is that when the season starts, if you're on the PUP list, you will miss the first 6 weeks of the season. You can't play, you can't come off of it for the first 6 weeks of the season. Now, all these guys that are on it, they can come off of it at any time in the summer, and the Eagles expect all of them except for maybe Timmy Jernigan to be off this list before the season starts. So I think we're going to be okay. But as for them practicing today, they cannot do that, and they did. So today being the first practice for the Eagles, this is a light practice. Usually no hitting, no pads, and they're not out there too long. But that doesn't mean we can't take a lot of good things from today. Now, the biggest thing that we can take is that all the guys that were injured last year were pretty much on the field practicing. Only the guys I said on that PUP list did not practice. Everybody else practiced, including Carson Wentz, who took part in every drill, including 11-on-11s. Now, he didn't do 11-on-11s during OTA, so this is a big step for Carson. And, you know, my fear with Carson going into the season was that he was going to not do anything during the OTAs, not really do anything during training camp, and then come in September and be really rusty. That doesn't look like the problem anymore. It doesn't look like a problem at all. Matter of fact, Carson says he feels really good. The knee feels really good. The Eagles aren't going to rush him back. He feels really good. He was on his honeymoon. You know, he went on his honeymoon. He did his manly, husbandly duties, you know what I'm saying? You know, his head is clear. You don't have to think about husbandly duties anymore. He may be walking a little bit higher now, legs a little higher, feeling a little lighter. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Carson Wentz even said, during the honeymoon, he did a lot of working out. I'm sure you did, buddy. Him doing husbandly duties makes him more dangerous. Why do I say that? Because think about it. Men are going to think about that kind of stuff, husbandly duties, all the time. You know what I mean? And then when it finally happens stuff, it's like you don't have to think about it as much. That means there's like all this space in your brain and your mind that you spend time thinking about husbandly duties. You don't have to think about it anymore because you had it. So now he can replace all that emptiness of space of thinking about it with more football. and that makes him more dangerous and even better. The way I see it now, Carson Wentz is a dangerous, dangerous weapon. You know what I mean? Watch out, NFL. Now, there were some other guys that did some really, really good things today. Darren Sproles was highly talked about because he looked really, really good, really fast, and he looks like he is going to be 100% going into this year. And if we could get one good year of Darren Sproles, that will make this team even more dangerous. And then one of the interesting things that was happening during practice today was the Eagles were running a lot of 3 tight end sets. They were running a lot of Dallas Goedert out wide, and then Ertz and Rodgers on the field at the same time, which is very cool. I'm very excited to see what Doug Peterson does this with this offense. I mean, he's a genius. He's going to do some really cool things, and it's going to create a lot of problems for the rest of the NFL, for sure. I can't wait. Some other interesting offensive notes for today that stand out to me is that Amalu was playing center. He was playing second-team center, and from what I heard, he was pretty erratic. He fired a couple snaps over Carson Wentz's head, and he was, up and down, really. But the Eagles like him. They think he's a versatile lineman, and they're going to give him a shot at center. So it'll be interesting to see how he does during preseason. But, if they have confidence in him, I have confidence in him, And speaking of confidence, Matt Collins was playing in Alshon Jeffrey's spot today while Jeffrey sat on the PUP list. He didn't practice, so Matt Collins was taking all his reps on the outside. I love that. I love it because a lot of people think he can only play inside, and to see him go outside means I think the Eagles are going to use Matt Collins a lot more than they did last year. And I expect big things from him, but he was taking Alshon Jeffrey's reps on the outside. So that's pretty cool. Now, Kamar Aiken, on his first day with the Eagles, I heard it was pretty quiet. He didn't really do too much. He had one nice catch early, and then apparently he had like a really, really bad drop that he should never have, but he did. And, it is what it is. It's the first day of practice. I'm not going to get on the guy and kill him, even though I got to say, I expect him to challenge for the last 2 spots. I think there's 2 spots that he'll challenge Marcus Wheaton, Shelton Gibson for. I mean, I don't think he was going to come in and be the number 1 guy, number 2 guy, number 3. He ain't that good. He just ain't that good. But to challenge for a final roster spot, yeah, he'll do that. And, not a great start on his first day, but it is only the first day after all. So 2 more quick things to talk about on the offense. Jason Peters was back. He practiced today. He took part in 11-on-11 drills, and that's a great sign. He was in great spirits. He was even making jokes, something to the effect that, if I knew tearing my ACL would win a Super Bowl, I'd have done it a long time ago, Just showing you what kind of guy he is, what kind of teammate, how, team matters first. And healthy Jason Peters and Lane Johnson, what an amazing offensive line this is going to be for the Eagles. Also, the other thing, Josh Adams was practicing. He was practicing. I mean, there was some concern that he was hurt, but he was out there. And apparently, they were running him on some passing routes, and he's a lot faster than people think he is. So definitely keep your eye on him. Definitely watch him. But from all accounts, hey, he looks pretty good. So, on defense, the thing that impressed me the most and stood out to me the most was that they put Sidney Jones at the slot. He is going to get the first crack at that nickel corner position. He's going to get the first crack at it. He played with Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby on the first team today, and he's very happy about just playing. He said he don't care if he plays inside. He don't care if he plays outside. He just wants to cover. And that's all we need. I mean, he's a top 10 talent. He needs to be on the field. And I think that if they want to start him off this year inside, then do it. I mean, eventually he's going to move the outside, of course. But, hey, I'm okay with it. I love having him out there on the field. Now, when they weren't using him at the slot corner position, what they were doing was they were bringing Malcolm Jenkins up, letting him play the slot, and they would bring Trey Sullivan up to the safety position with Rodney McLeod, and that's kind of how they were doing and taking care of the slot corner position today. I think it's going to work out. I think they're going to be fine. Now, another guy on defense that really stood out, once again, I keep saying this guy's name every practice. Josh Sweat continues to impress. And it's getting to the point now where I got to tell you, I'm buying the hype. I'm buying it. I'm all in. I believe this kid is going to make an impact. I mean, this is the best defensive line in football. It's the best defensive line in football. And for a rookie to come in and get playing time and make a name for himself, I'm sorry. I believe that this kid is going to have an impact on this team this year. Even Michael Bennett was talking about him, saying that he has an amazing first step. Apparently, this kid's first step is amazing. So it's going to be very exciting to watch Josh Sweat. You know, if you ever want reasons to watch a whole preseason game in the third quarter or fourth quarter, Josh Sweat is going to be it. Watch this kid because I think he's going to impress. I'm very excited about it. Now, one of the guys that we brought in the offseason, Haloti Ngata, he hasn't practiced all OTAs. He was on the field today. He was practicing. That's a good sign. And then at the linebacking position, Joe Walker and Corey Nelson were getting a lot of the second team reps, kind of what I expect. And that's pretty much it, really. So with the first day of practice coming to an end, those are the things that stood out to me. What about you? What stood out to you? Let me know in the comment section. And be sure to join me tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, as I'm going to come on, talk Eagles football for about an hour or so, and do some question answers, that kind of thing. Have a little fun. With football season back, there's a lot of live streams coming. And don't forget, I stream all the Eagles games during the regular season, as well as all the Eagles games during the preseason. So with that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.